On December 16th, 2024, something amazing happened. I got hired to do an art commission. If you're an artist, you know how big that is. And if you're an artist, you also know that excitement isn't the only extreme emotion that comes with an art commission. There is a monster called imposter syndrome that seems to come knocking every single time I try to do any artwork, especially something that someone is paying for that many people will see. At least that's what my imposter syndrome monster looks like. What you're about to witness is the emotional roller coaster of nearly catastrophic lows and incredible highs that was the journey of creating my favorite art commission. Here's how it went. Okay, let's begin. Here we begin in the initial preliminary drawing stage. This, of course, is after I've met with the clients already to determine exactly what the commission will be.
Alright, so I think I'll start here by placing in roughly where the mountain is in the back. Oh, we'll want that higher actually. Something like that, maybe?
This is me pretending like I know exactly what I'm doing and that I'm not crippled by fear of failing miserably.
There's roughly where we're going to place the mountain in the back. The building is going to be here. Oh, it's too big.
They commissioned me to paint a scene of a beautiful Italian villa, the home of a family friend. This painting would then be gifted to said family friend as a late Christmas gift. My first biggest challenge of this process occurs right here at step 1. I needed to somehow get the scene I was envisioning in my head onto paper while making the structure of the home anatomically correct. Essentially, making a composite in my brain out of a few of the reference images I was given, then drawing it onto the paper. For this scene, my vision for the home was to be at a 3/4 position from a medium viewing distance, with the sun being at a setting position in the sky, illuminating the front of the house. And this series of organized scribbles came out pretty much how I'd pictured it, and I was happy with it. So I sent it over to the clients, to which she gave me a thumbs up and a green light to proceed to the calm before the storm. For the underpainting, I'm covering the gesso board with a very thin coat of this stunning terracotta shade. If I wasn't running desperately low on Turpenoid, this process of the painting would have been quite a bit faster. I drew in the bones of the painting using the preliminary drawing as a reference. Then I spray it with a workable fixative to make sure that the colored pencil doesn't smudge during the underpainting. Here I'm placing in the basic dark and mid values in also very thin paint. Thus ends the prep stage, and I move on to the heart palpitation section of this painting. It is officially day 3 of this painting, and I am very excited and nervous. Heavy on the nervous, but mostly excited. When I said I was having heart palpitations, I really meant it. My heart was actually fluttering in my chest. I was very, very stressed, if you couldn't tell. And that's why I was just yapping incessantly during this. I was trying to do a check-in kind of thing, but I really was just yapping. And I was terrified. Let's just move on. Now it's time to paint. Here is the assortment of colors I'm working with phthalo blue and titanium white being first in line to be mixed as I officially begin this painting. not enough left. So I need to go to Hobby Lobby, pick some up. Gonna go get that. On my way to get turpentine and tacos. So here's what we have on day, I don't remember what day it is. The clock is ticking. Oh God. I'd say that I'm about, I would say 60% finished with the painting right now. And I have a little over, in fact, I have 9 days. I'm hoping to have this thing done by Saturday at the very latest. We'll see. I was feigning being okay at this moment. I was not okay. This thing was not coming out at all how I wanted it to. And I was pretending to have control, but in reality, I was panicking. A lot of prayer went into this painting, but the majority of my prayers happened right about at this stage. My heart was literally fluttering in my chest, like on a hourly basis. And when you're in the ugly phase of a painting, it feels like you are never gonna get out of it. And this was not a painting that I could just set aside and give up on. I needed to finish this painting, obviously. It's a commission. So I prayed that Jesus would take my paintbrush and help me because I was struggling and I needed help. I also realized that the frame color was a bit too bright for the colors that I had on the surface at that moment. So I needed to go in and brighten up a few of these colors. That day after I filmed the check-in, I sat and I painted a little. I brightened some colors like I said I would, but I mostly just felt crippled and really, really discouraged. The tree and my second attempt at the sky were casualties of my bad mood. These efforts did very little to ease my frustration, so I decided to go to sleep. The next day I woke up in a better mood and with a plan. Good morning. I have my cookie, my AirPods, my friends, my flowers are dying, and I have this painting. This is what the palette's looking like right now, and the painting is this. By the end of today, it's gonna look quite a bit different than this. Thankfully, we've emerged out of the ugly phase in many parts of this painting. Genuinely, I have no clue why I said that. I don't know why, after having the failure of the day that I did before that, why on earth I would think that we emerged from the ugly phase like we just didn't. I think I was just being toxically optimistic at this point. But no, indeed, we had not emerged from the ugly phase. We were in the thick of it. The buildings are still windowless. The sky is on its third redo, basically. So here's a game plan. I'm going to time myself. I will be spending 2 hours here in this corner, 2 hours here, 2 hours here, 2 hours here, and 1 hour here if I get time. And midway through, I was already feeling a lot better about this progress. This little corner of foliage felt like a success and my confidence was restored. Unfortunately, my confidence was a little too high at this point, and I ended up making the ugliest clouds I could have possibly imagined. Well, they weren't ugly, they just didn't work with the painting. I was really wanting to paint beautiful, like billowing clouds that felt integrated into the painting, and these just didn't. These felt really shallow in the painting because I let the blue dry and I was painting wet on dry, and it just didn't look integrated at all. And so that's why they looked kind of stupid. And I wouldn't realize that until a little bit later in the editing process. And I continued on with only 8 more days until this painting was due to be delivered. I'm not gonna lie, I could not continue bothering with the camera if I wanted this thing to actually get done on time. So I did the rest of my work for that day off camera. After these off camera efforts, it was now January 11th, 1 week until the due date, and my painting looks like this. We have a problem. The problem is that I like these clouds so much better than these clouds. During the editing process for this video, which was at the same time as the painting process, I was kind of doing it at the same time, and thankfully I was, because I looked back and I realized that I liked my second attempt at the clouds exponentially better than what was on the canvas at that point. Like, so much better. The problem is, okay, they're not bad, but the problem is that it's very late in the process for me to restart the sky yet again. Yet again. I can't do it again. Hello. We are almost officially finished with this painting. And here it is. You can see right here. This is how it'll look with the frame. However, we are not finished yet. In fact, there is still quite a ways to go. Lots of work still left to do. Though the painting is nearly finished, it only gets better from here. My favorite and the most satisfying parts of this process have yet to come. A few absolutely essential pieces are still missing. I cleaned up the sides of the painting by extending the edges over onto the sides. Then the back I painted black. I also painted the back of the frame black, just so it could all look clean. Then I turned it around and placed it on the surface to properly align my signature, which I ended up messing up, so I tried again and then I got it right. On to the certificate of authenticity, which I was very, very excited to design. I wanted to design it myself. I'm not a fan of using pre-made editable templates. I like taking the long way around. So here is what I included in the certificate, which essentially is a big ID card for the painting. I included of course, the certificate of authenticity, a serial number, which in this case it would be a 1 of 1, the name of the piece, which is in Italian, it's Casa del Sogno, Casa del Sogno, Casa del Sogno, which is the name of the house, which at the time I didn't know, but while I was making this certificate of authenticity, I looked up to see what that actually meant, and that means House of Dreams, which is so perfect because I call myself Lainey Dreams, and that's like my brand. and because I wanted the painting itself to feel dreamy before I even knew that this was what the name was. The client very well might have told me that while we were talking, but it was right then that it occurred to me, and I thought that was really cute, and it came full circle. Underneath that, I have what it is, which is an oil painting by me, and I put my full name. I put the date of completion, varnish dates, which was January 18th, the medium, which is oil paint on gesso board, the dimensions, which is 12 by 16 inches, and then a small little paragraph of what it is, and I included the names of the patron family that commissioned this piece, and then the name of the family they would be giving the piece to. And then below that, I put my signature, so the signature that would appear on the painting, and I put where on the painting my signature would be found, as well as a little picture of the painting itself. Again, it's like a little ID card. I also went into Procreate and I hand drew this little like floral leaf motif thing on the corners, which, fun fact, I animated to be part of the title cards of this video. I printed it out on white gold pearlescent paper, then cut it to size and fit it into the folder. So I had the idea to give the palettes that I was working with throughout the process to the clients as well, but attach it to the painting some way. Now I decided that I was going to kind of inlay it behind the painting so that it could be visible, but also not a separate entity. So it would be one thing, one item. You'll see. But it didn't fit flush in the back of the painting, so I had to score it and cut it. It looks so gnarly.
I just wish the garage wasn't such a mess. Put the table up like that. Top of it.
What pieces of wood?
The one behind it. It's gonna move.
Yeah, it's moving. But what would keep it from moving? I obviously had no idea what I was doing, and so my dad stepped in to save the day. Even being about a week recovered from a major surgery, he was still out here helping me. So major shout out to my dad. And after much sanding, it fit in perfectly, creating this gorgeous backside of the painting that showcases my thought process when handling color within this painting. I figured it would be a nice touch to throw in, because if I had kept it, it would have ended up just thrown somewhere under my bed or in the trash eventually. Next to the most satisfying varnish job I have ever done in my life. I wasn't sure if I wanted to varnish it because I really loved the matte texture that came naturally with the way that I had painted it with lots of paint thinner. And so the whole thing was just very matte, and I thought that was very beautiful. But I did need to varnish it because the painting did need protection. And the second that I painted on the first stroke, I was so happy that I decided to varnish it. I'm just gonna shut up and let you enjoy this. I put my signature on the back with the date for good measure. I fasten the frame to the painting with some hardware, and I do some small touch-ups before letting it dry. The night before the delivery date, I prayed over the painting that it would be a blessing to those receiving it, and I thanked God for getting me through this process successfully. It is now delivery day. Here is the final package of what the client will receive. The painting, of course, varnished, framed, and complete with the companion palette on the back, the preliminary drawing on matte board, and the certificate of authenticity in this folder I made. I put all of it in protective plastic, paper, and bubble wrap, and then I put it in my car, ready to deliver it. On my way to take the painting to the house, to the client's house. I'm very nervous. No, I'm not very nervous. I'm fine. It feels sort of surreal to get rid of it Yet again, I was nervous yapping, but all you need to know is that I was excited. And anticlimactically, I did not get footage of the client's reaction when they received the painting, unfortunately. However, not everything needs to be filmed, and all you need to know is that they had the precise reaction that I was hoping for, and they really liked it and they were happy. This commission was quite the trip. I put in truly 110% of my physical, spiritual, and emotional effort into completing this piece, and it was probably to this day one of the most satisfying pieces of artwork I've ever created. It felt like a culmination of the 18 plus years of art experience I've accumulated thus far, and my 6-year-old self picking up a charcoal pencil for the first time would be very proud of me, and my 14-year-old self, or 15-year-old self picking up oils for the first time would also be proud of me. And I am proud of me. This was one of the most rigorous paintings I have done probably ever, but I love the challenge so much. I truly feel like a more refined artist now after completing it. Plus, the reactions of the clients, or more accurately, the patrons, truly made my heart happy. It made my soul just happy. I will be doing more videos about my original artworks. This is what I love to do, and this is what I want to do with my life, and so I want people to see it, even though videos take forever to edit and make and upload. Stay tuned for more, and thank you so much for getting to the end of this video. I will see you next time.